And hey everybody, what is up? And we are finally live. Thank you everybody for your patience as we got the stream to set up correctly. And I do realize that the thumbnail got a little bit messed up when I accidentally rotated the device incorrectly. Hello amusement park pirates, good to see you. And if you have not already done so, please be sure to smash the thumbs up button. And if this is your very first time watching, please sure to subscribe to Tony or Tao. And not, let's celebrate. Why not? Let's celebrate with some live art. I'll be taking your live art requests. Hello APP, good to see you. What's up and how you doing? But unfortunately, we cannot say why we are celebrating. No, it's gonna be a mystery celebration stream. You all can take your best guesses, but unfortunately, I can't really reveal the main celebration. Good to see you, CGL. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? Good to see you, APP. So I'm curious, APP, while we are waiting for some people to come on in, how has Disneyland been treating you? And for those who know, I just returned from Napa, California. It has been gushing down rain non-stop all day long. There was one time where it started raining so hard that I had to take my shoes off to get across the driveway. That's how much rain it's been. And now it's time to celebrate. It's time to dive on in. Let's see what we can draw and let's see what we can do. So does anybody have any live art requests? Otherwise, we are starting with Donald Duck. And I do realize that tonight is a really busy night on YouTube. So thank you everybody who makes some time to come on over and say hi, even if you cannot stay for very long. And I always appreciate seeing everybody whenever you all can. And I want to make it very clear that there is no obligation to be here. And I always appreciate whenever everybody can come on in, even for a short amount of time or for the entire time. Right now, I'm trying out a new gel pen. Wish us luck. Hopefully the pen did not go kaput, because sometimes if you draw for long enough with the gel pen, the gel heats up and goes kaput and splatters all over my hands. It's a little strange right now it's a little strange right now with YouTube, because whenever I go live, it always shows that 0 people are watching. So if you're here, please be sure to leave a chat so I know that I'm not streaming to a ghost town, because YouTube be a little weird these days. And also, I want to thank everybody who is here from the Disney Streamer Network. And if you haven't already known, the Disney Streamer Network is a network of people started by Lawrence, aka Block Park Bros, and David Plyo's Adventures. It is basically a place that it's basically a website that you can go to, and you can watch up to, I believe, 42 people live at the same time. So you never miss fireworks, you never miss the shows, and you can always see what everybody's up to nonstop. And for me personally, I'm loving the network just because I'm always running out of devices. I only have 2 devices: the streamer phone and the regular phone. So when I'm out of devices, I'm like, not. Let's go watch everybody go live from Hollywood Studios at the same time. Hello, Goody, good to see you. It's a small world after all. It's a small world, Tower of Terror. Not sure why, but It's a Small World and Tower of Terror are my 2 absolute favorite rides, which I'll be professing and repeating myself week after week. And if you're in denial, then you gotta go and get some H2O. Oops, messed that up. I'm so glad to hear that Disneyland has been great and has been treating you very well. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing DCA with my very own 2 eyes. This May. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today. From May 1st to May 3rd. And sometimes my speaking can really suck because I do have a speech disability called apraxia of speech, which can make me sound very repetitive and can make me sound like a broken record, because unfortunately I don't have the memory of an elephant, unlike some Jungle Cruise skippers. You know what's really strange? Is when I started to from an analytics perspective, is when I started to stream, it showed that I had 8 people waiting. Then when I hit go live, bam, 0 people, even though I can see the chat, which can be a little confusing, especially if you're trying to figure out who's here and how the stream's doing. So here you got yourself a Donald Duck, and of course, nothing can stop us now, especially with our friend Engineer Goofy. Donald and Goofy be like, heck yeah, let's celebrate. Hello, Sister Oro. It's so good to see you. How are you doing tonight? And I'm curious, has it been raining around your area? Thank you so much, APP. I do enjoy celebrating with Donald Duck. Not sure what it is, but whenever I watch a Have a Laugh Donald Duck cartoon, I can't stop screaming and can't stop howling, especially during the Donald Duck short titled, especially during the spare titled Donald Duck short. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? And yes, I can draw a rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. I also can't stop laughing during the Donald Duck pancake episode when Donald Duck is trying to make pancakes for the first time and it all goes kaput. Basically, instead of mixing flour, he mixes rubber cement and the radio goes flying. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. I do wish that we got to see more Goofy and Max in the theme parks. I also realize that Goofy and Max, they do make an appearance within the Tower of Terror queue if you're extra lucky, but it's very rare to see Goofy and Max doing yoga on the Tower of Terror's patio. So yes, here we go. We got ourselves Engineer Goofy. Now we can get ourselves Engineer Rocket. Not the Rocket basketball team, the Rocket, the raccoon. Oops, I accidentally drew Rocket's nose like a dog nose. My bad. Oops, sorry, Rocket. I did not do your nose justice. I'm Groot. One of the hardest characters to draw is Sleeping Beauty just because of how perfect you got to get the line work. And if you mess up the line work, she don't look like Sleeping Beauty at all. Oh, I see it. Aww. Rocket Raccoon. Sorry, you look like a pancake right now. Right, there you go. You got yourself some Rocket Raccoon. And if anybody has any other requests, please let us know. Otherwise, we're gonna be drawing some Disney villains because an evening month like tonight is never complete without a bunch of villains. Oh, thank you so much, CJL. That means a lot. So not. Let's see if you know what villain I'm drawing. This villain, I Spy Rocket Raccoon. Bam. And absolutely, we can do Coachella, the meanest one of them all. Coachella Devella, eyes looking for trouble. I definitely gotta get myself more of these gel pens. I just love how absolutely quick and effortlessly I can do it all in my line work. Oops, I nearly forgot her full jacket, which actually distinguishes Cavella from the other villains. Aw, thank you so much, Scoop Boy. That means a lot. Aw. I do enjoy doing live art and just seeing what we can come up with. So here's this is like a little quick sketch of what I think Cavella Devella looks like, especially with her earrings and her grimace. So here you got yourselves a little good Cavella Devella. So not let's draw another villain. Let's draw a villain. This villain is unfortunately not in the villain show, but let's see if anybody recognizes who they are. I'm just curious. Usually when I'm drawing faces or if I'm playing Pictionary, usually I start with the character's face, then I learned that the hard way is where I'd play Pictionary and I'd start with the character's body or the animal's body, and nobody would know what I was drawing. Everybody was like, tell me what you're drawing. I'm like, I was always bewildered and confused until somebody said, start with the face, then work your way out, then work your way down. I'm like, oh, and that's when I started winning. That's when I started winning more Pictionary rounds. Still, Pictionary eludes me to this day, because whenever I draw something, I tend to get a little bit too realistic and too fine, which unfortunately makes it harder for me to keep up with like the timer, along with getting too involved with the details. Pictionary is much harder than it looks like. And definitely, Soup Boy, I'd recommend using that strategy the next time you embark on Pictionary. And you know what I find kind of funny is that somebody asked, are you AI? As of now, I'm not AI. As of now, I'm not AI. I actually do use pencil and paper and doing this live right here. Oh, pardon me. Sorry about the hiccup. So does anybody have any guesses to who the specific villain is? She's one of the major queens. She's one of the major queens, and she makes an appearance in a very early 1960s Disney film that has the artistic style guidance of Mary Blair, and was made when Walt Disney was and does have an attraction in Disneyland, but not Disney World. So this is our villain right there. And while we're at it, let's keep drawing villains. Why not? Not sure why, but sometimes I just like to. Not sure why, but sometimes I just like to sit around and draw villains. No rhyme or reason, but I'm kind of in the villain's mood tonight. Sometimes when I do art, I have no rhyme or reason except just to sit down and just start doodling at random. Oh, thank you so much, Soup Boy. I'm having a lovely evening so far. And what about you? I hope your evening's going well too. Pardon me. And you know what's really strange is it being 6 o'clock, but it's like not dark outside at all. It's like not dark at all, but it's going really wild when it becomes spring forward. That's when it's gonna be nice and bright until 9 at night, which I really love, especially as somebody who takes the bus all day long and all night long. I actually don't have a car or any way to commute outside of the mass transit system, which can be a little bit rough in like the Rocky Mountains or in Denver itself. Soup Boy says, so far so good. However, there is a snowstorm hitting the northern US soon. Oof, that's rough. I've seen the news reports, and I'm really hoping that everybody can stay as safe as they possibly can. Snowstorms are absolutely no joke and can be very, very serious. I'm not sure, but whenever I draw Sneedy, he reminds me of drawing the 7 dolls from Snow White. Hello, Matthew. Good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? You came just in time for the villain for the villain show. The villains have taken over and want to be seen tonight. So right now we're doing some villains. Unless you have a live art request or something that you like, something that you like to see drawn. So far we got the Queen of Hearts, Sneedy, Coachella the Bella, Rocket Raccoon, Donald Duck. And of course, Goofy, nothing can stop us now. La 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 la. Soup Boy says, totally relate with your comments about public transportation. I'm from Boston where our transit system is really robust and easy to use for the most part. You are so lucky to be in Boston. Unfortunately, the transit system in Colorado is very, very hit or miss. Some days it looks like a charm, other days you're standing outside, freezing around for an hour in the dark just because somebody did not show up or one of the buses is down for maintenance issues. So I'm curious, Matthew, who is your favorite hockey team? I can draw the logo. While we wait to hear from Matthews about his favorite hockey team, let's draw another villain. Florida Panthers, let's go! Woo! After we draw the villain from the Impulse New Groove, we are definitely gonna be drawing the Florida Panthers logo. Go Panthers! Whoop whoop! You know what's really interesting about this one villain is that he makes a cameo in the villain show, but yet he's not a main character. Whenever I see him appear on the screen above the magic mirror, my eyes immediately are captivated, wishing that he was one of the villains that could show off in the show. I actually know somebody who has this villain on a T-shirt. He makes a very rare appearance on Disney Merch of all things. Very hard to find. And when you see him on merchandise, I do recommend getting the merch if you enjoy villain merch. In my opinion. Which are my 2 favorite words? Alrighty, it was so good seeing you, Soup Boy. I hope you enjoy your meal and stay safe in Boston. The weather sucks, and please keep yourself as safe as you can. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you around in future streams too. So let's draw the Panthers, Florida Panthers. So I'm curious, Matthew, what do you like about the Florida Panthers? Whoop. We're just getting started. So I'm curious going forward, do you all prefer landscape streams or horizontal streams? Honestly, for me, when it comes to art streams, I prefer doing a horizontal stream. Yeah, I realize that a lot of people do enjoy the landscape streams just for better visibility on the computers and laptops, which I completely on the computers and TVs. And when it comes to art, I personally like to draw horizontally just because of proportions and how I'm able to maintain the line work a little bit easier. But I'm okay doing vertical. I meant to say I'd rather do horizontal vertical streams just because I have an easier time maintaining the line art and proportion. But I'm okay doing horizontal streams. I'm not sure why, but tonight I just cannot talk. Sometimes I say the same thing 5 times over again, and still it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. I'm really hoping that Florida does make the hockey playoffs this year, and I'm also rooting for the Avalanches too. Here it is, the Florida Panthers. Not the best logo ever, but here it is, the Florida Panther. Dun dun dun. Matthew says, I don't like vertical streams. I completely understand. And yes, vertical streams can be a little tricky and challenging to view on mobile devices, and especially if the chat starts covering up the whole shebang. Thank you so much, So Cargo. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for leaving a quick like. That means an absolute lot. Haha, mother dearest. Not mother just, but mother gossip. Mother knows all. Mother knows all. Of all things, I have not seen the full movie. I've not seen Brave in its entirety. I did get a little creeped out in the beginning. Not sure why, but just something about the music was not working for me. So I ended up not watching the full movie. I still got to watch the full movie of Brave. I did see Tangled, which I really love. You're very welcome, Matthew. I did have a good time drawing the Florida Panthers. Pardon me. And I completely agree. Amusement Park Pirates. Same here. I do like horizontal streaming because you get a much better screen compared to vertical. When it comes to vertical streams, I personally find everything nearly impossible to see, especially if the chat is overlaying if the chat is like overlaying something that's very low contrast, and it makes it really hard to actually be able to read the chat. That's why whenever I'm watching a vertical stream, I'm like squinting and unable to see anything. Let's see. What other villains can we draw? Turbotastic! And yes, I can draw Family Guy, Matthew. So not. Do you have a very favorite Family Guy character? For me, my favorite character is Peter McGriffin, just because of his like crude humor, and just how much personality he has. I always find it really silly watching Peter. I always find it really silly comparing Peter to Snoopy, and basically they juxtapose each other like nobody's business. Snoopy on one hand is a very, very sweet, innocent dog. Then you got Peter, and Peter's being like, "What's up? What's up?" And it's like, and just always scheming with Stewie. I used to do a lot of I used to do a lot of vertical streams, but I stopped after I realized that people were having a hard time seeing the chat on the vertical. Yep, that's a whole gang of them. They're just there for the. That's a whole gang of them, always ready for trouble. Have you ever seen the Family Guy and Simpsons crossover? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Stewie. I'm so sorry, Peter. I'm sorry, Peter. I thought you were the dog. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I totally understand, APP. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your dinner. I'm actually going to be having a nice vat of boiled potatoes for dinner. Oh my gosh, I've never seen Brian and Stewie flying in an airplane before. What a freaking mess. I also cannot get over the Family Guy Duff Beer parody, which gives me. I also cannot get over the Family Guy's Duff Beer Disney World parody, along with the. Let me look it up. Along with all the Charlie Brown parodies too, and inside of. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it. And the Body Rolls attraction. So let's see what trouble Peter and Stewie can get up to tonight. Oh my gosh. They both be very mischief. One of the things I used to do is I used to like to draw and commit characters to memory. That was something I would do in elementary school when I had nobody to talk to, but I would sit in the cafeteria, look at cartoon characters, and try to commit as many cartoon characters to memory as possible. A lot of them came out looking a little strange, just because I was trying to remember at least like 10 cartoon characters at a time. I once mixed up Brian and Dilbert together. It was not very pretty. Yep, long live the Body Rolls. I wish I got to ride the Body Rolls at least once in my life. Never gotten to ride the Body Rolls, which makes me a little sad. Another thing I do enjoy watching is I know it's not very Disney related, but I do enjoy watching South Park, especially the episode called The Human Centipede. It's a little too gruesome to go into detail here, but it's South Park, and things can get a little wonky really fast. Ah, Stewie, you're always making them trouble. And people be like, oh, Stewie, you're such an innocent baby. And he's like, nope, I'm not. I would really love to watch a Family Guy South Park hybrid or Family Guy South Park parody. I agree, Matthew. It is sad, but they abandoned the Wonders of Life Pavilion in 2007 for no reason at all. The only reason I can kind of speculate that they closed the pavilion is very low attendance, and they were probably trying to turn the pavilion into a festival space, which unfortunately never came to fruition. I would love to see the revival of body rolls and the entire wonder of life pavilion, especially the cranium attraction, which I never got to experience. I also wish I got to experience Disneyland's journey to inner space, which you go inside of a snowflake and you become a teeny tiny little crystal. Whenever I draw Stewie's head, I think of a football just because of the shape, and I also can think of like a watermelon whenever I draw Stitch's head too. Stitch and Stewie. Who would have thought? Yep. We are all in this together. Stewie be in trouble today because he refused to ride the Hollywood Tower Hotel when Brian was like, "Oh, I paid for your lightning lane. Why didn't you not ride the Tower with me?" Rah, rah, rah. I know it. Well, we're at Family Guy. Let's draw the one and only Peter McGriffin. One beer for you, one beer for me. At Duff's Road for all of us. That is really messed up, Matthew, that Disney decided to abandon Wonders of Life for absolutely no reason at all. I just wish that Disney could give us an explanation to why they shortened Figment's original ride time from 11 minutes to 35 to 3 minutes, and why they abandoned the Wonders of Life pavilion. I'm also trying to figure out why did Disney get rid of the Transformers, the robots that you could actually have play music for you. That was something I liked doing in the early 2000s, where I'd go and ask about the robots, where I'd go and eat lunch in front of the robots and see the robots and see people remotely controlling the robots to playing some of the instruments. Long live all of Epcot's animatronics, and long live the fact that Epcot used to be an educational park. I would definitely miss the early 2000s, where I feel that Epcot was at its pinnacle and golden peak of edutainment. There was one exhibit teaching kids how to save money and budget, which I found rather ironic, being in a Disney park, but it was a really educational exhibit. Nope, that's gone, abandoned. So you know what? Here you go. You get yourself a Peter Griffin instead. Peter Griffins of Epcot. And Peter Griffin be like, "Give me back old school Epcot." So does anybody else have any other live art requests? Please let me know, and we can keep this party on going. Woo! Matthew says Epcot is still an educational park, but not a lot of educational rides that used to be there. That was the one thing I really miss about Epcot, is seeing is getting educated and feeling like I learned something from I actually learned something from riding a ride, rather than just going for the thrill or the amusement, which I could do in the Magic Kingdom. I did hear that Epcot ended up shutting down its educational components after it was found out that park attendants was not going to a theme park to learn, but rather just for amusement, which I believe which is why I believe Epcot shifted into an entertainment venue and to a concert venue too. Alright, here you go, my Timmy Turner was an average kid that nobody understood. Mom and Dad were always gone, so up to his room he went, where he had two goldfish who would grant every one of his wishes. There were some times when I was a kid, there were some times where I actually wondered if I had fairly odd parents, and because in the Fairly Odd Parents show, there's a rumor that once you get old enough, you will never remember that you had Fairly Odd Parents. Not sure what it was, but I always found myself wondering if I actually had two goldfish that granted every one of my wishes that I cannot remember anymore. And honestly, I wish I did. If I had two goldfish who granted all my wishes, I'd be wishing for a lot of art supplies, seeing the Hollywood Hotel each and every day, being able to go to Disney World, and the whole shebang. What I find really wild is that once Timmy wished for every day to be Christmas, that all the fairies lost all their magic and powers. Same here, Matthew. And I wish that Epcot kept all the educational rights along with the thrill rides and the themed rides, just because of how much space Disney World has in comparison to Disneyland. What I find wild about Disney World is that Disney World is basically 29 times the size of San Francisco. That is how much land and potential Disney World has when it comes to installing new attractions and even opening a fifth gate. There's actually talks that Disneyland is going to be opening a third gate, aka Westcott, pretty soon. And when we say pretty soon, that's going to be years away. I know Timmy Turner is never complete without his two little goldfish who grant every one of his wishes. I wish every day could be Christmas. And you know what's really wild? I actually got myself into a whole lot of trouble for cosplaying Cosmo at my elementary school. I dressed up as Cosmo, and and all of a sudden I was getting scolded. I was getting scolded for being in too much in costume. So I got into so much trouble. I got so fed up, and I threw away my entire Cosmo costume that night. That is how much I loved Fairly Odd Parents that's how much I loved Fairly Odd Parents growing up. I know. It was a wild time in my life. Got so mad. Got cussed out for dressing up as Cosmo at school. Got so fed up. I threw that costume away. Threw it all away. I do know somebody who did apply to be one of the Fairly Odd Parent animators. Unfortunately, he not get the job, which is really sad, given how much I love Fairly Odd Parents, and I would have loved to know one of the animators. Another trick about Cosmo's tie I raised is that Cosmo does not have a tie knot, but rather it's just a straight line, a straight line down the shoulder. And sorry, Brian, you're gonna have to reconcile with Fairy Wand boop in your head. And of course, Stewie is not seeing none of this because everything is invisible to Stewie. Only the person who has Fairly Odd Parents can see the Fairly Odd Parents. Brian might be feeling a little boop on his head other than that, nada. Yes, Disney does need to add a fifth park because of Epic Universe. That's how Disney is really going to compete with how rapidly and how quickly, how rapidly Universal is expanding and how much Universal is willing to toss into the theme park budget. And definitely, I can draw Ice Princess Michelle Transition board from figure skating. I can definitely do that. So here you go. We got Timmy Tono, Cosmo, Stewie, and here we go. The Ice Princess figure skating. I'm actually thinking about reducing my art streams from 4 times a week to 4 times a month to 2 times a month, just because of how the novelty seems to be wearing off of doing artwork. Not yet, but that's a movie. Not yet, but that's a movie I would love to watch someday. Okay, here we go. The Ice Princess. That's good to know, Matthew. Unfortunately, all I have for TV is Netflix and bunny ears. But when I find somebody with Disney Plus, I would definitely be watching Ice Princess, along with the entire Behind the Attraction series. One of my very favorite Disney series, just because I love seeing how Disney attractions work and what happens when an attraction must e-stop. One of my very favorite words right now is e-stop. Not sure why, but I just love the way that the word e-stop, that the e-stop rings, and the sound of the word e-stop. There's something very fascinating about riding the Tower of Terror, thinking that I could e-stop at any moment, especially in the fifth dimension, where you must evacuate the ride, especially in the fifth dimension, where you must evacuate the ride car, and in drop shaft, where they must slowly lower you to the basement or to this maintenance bay to get you out of the ride car. There was a time when some people were riding the Tower of Terror. Welcome back, CJL. Good to see you. There was a time when some people were riding the Tower of Terror only to be stuck in the ride car for an hour. The reason they were stuck is even though the cast members were able to get the ride car to the maintenance bay, they couldn't get the ride car to release the seatbelts, so they had to get the really quick fire department to come on in and cut the seatbelts off of all the riders. So that was one heck of a day at the Tower of Terror. So imagine getting in imagine thinking you're going to be riding the Tower of Terror either before your dinner reservations or your show, only to be stuck inside the Hollywood Tower Hotel for the unforeseeable future. So here she is, figure skating, whoop, going ka-chow, kaboom. Matthew says, it used to be on the Disney Channel, Ice Princess, and it came out in 2005, 21 years since it came out, but now it's on Disney Plus. It's really wild that 2005 was 21 years ago. I still remember when I'd gone to establishments and seeing the sign saying that we will only serve you if you were born before 1997. Next thing I know, I look up and it says we will only serve you if you're born before 2005. I find that so wild that was literally 21 years ago. Time does fly. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Mama Dula. Well, looks like we might be wrapping things up a little bit early tonight. I don't see very many. If you have any more requests, please let me know. Otherwise, we just wrap up a little bit early. And going forward in the future, I will very likely not be doing any. I likely only go live twice a month instead of going live every week unless I'm going somewhere. That's good to know. I didn't know that was like that was a dress. I thought that was leggings. So is this a dress? Boop. I'm so behind on the times. So behind. Alright. So note. Oh, it's a dress. I didn't know that the Ice Princess wore a dress. I thought she wore a skating suit like short track skaters. That's actually one sport I do follow on during the Winter Olympics is short track skating. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. Mama Medulla, la la la. I didn't know that, Matthew. Thank you so much for letting me know. I know it's really random, but when it comes to 3D animated Pixar characters, I'm surprised by how similar they are to the 2D animated original Disney characters when it comes to the facial shapes and expressions. I do want to appreciate Disney for actually keeping true to them to the original art style of the geometrical facial structures along with the curvy S shapes which are very present in the 2D animations and the Pixar animated facial features. Not sure about Lotso. He reminds me of the teddy bear from the movie Ted. I don't recommend watching Ted unless you're in for a rude surprise. Definitely not a very Disney-friendly movie either, which I learned the hard way when I went to watch 21 Jump Street and Ted in theater. Got myself a little surprised. And of course, I can do out of Pharrell Williams. I can't remember if Pharrell Williams is a villain or a protagonist. Mama Medulla. Prince Ali. Wait, is Pharrell Williams a record player? Yes, you definitely gotta watch the Olympics figure skating. I have not gone to figure skating. The only Olympic sports I've seen are short track skating, curling, and competitive skiing. So here we go. Let's draw Pharrell Williams. Not sure, but I thought Pharrell Williams was not from Princess and the Frog, but was from the Impulse New Groove. So here we go. Pharrell Williams. Turns out Pharrell Williams is, let me see who he is an American musician and a songwriter. I do wonder if Pharrell Williams has done music for Disney. Oops. Oh, I didn't know that he did the song Happy and was part of the Despicable Me movies. Despicable Me. I just like to be the bad guy, Despicable Me. If you're happy, clap along. If you're happy and you feel like a balloon floating in the air. If you're happy, I got sunshine in my pocket. I forgot my lyrics. Pocket. When it comes to musicians out of Frank Sinatra, Elvis, and Dean Martin, I'm so lost in Nave. naive. I honestly don't pay very much attention to music unless it's within my special interest or a very specific niche. He definitely does have a knack. When I think about his songs, he definitely has a knack, and he really knows how to keep the crowd going. Hello, hello, Stitch Love. Good to see you. What's up, and how are you doing? You came just in time for Pharrell Williams. I didn't know that Miranda Cosgrove was also from Despicable Me. Thank you so much for teaching me about the Despicable Me characters. I actually found that the very first Despicable Me movie was the very first movie that I genuinely enjoyed in theaters. I was not a very big fan of movie theaters, and I'm still not the biggest fan of being in the theater where I can't get up and stretch unless it's a really good movie like the Barbie movie or any of the comical Minion movies. If another Despicable Me gets released, I'm definitely gonna be seeing that one in theater too. Bananas. I'm Groot. Same here, Matthew. Despicable Me keeps the party going. And I find that movie is a really good movie to watch, either during dinner or when I have nothing else to do. That's when I sit down and watch all the Despicable Me's. You're very welcome, Matthew, and I'm glad to hear that you're doing okay. Whenever it comes to Disney, whenever it comes to animated films, I always forget about Despicable Me of all things. My mind mostly goes to Disney picks us up, Finding Nemo and Winnie the Pooh when I think of animated films. So now, since Amy's here, let's draw a minion Stitch, a Stitch minion. And of course, after I draw Stitch, I can draw drawing standards too. After I draw minion Stitch. Mama Doula. Minion stitching coming. Here you go. Whoop. This is what Stitch would look like if he was a minion. Mama Doula, Mama Doula. So I kind of wonder what Guru would do if Stitch all of a sudden appears and starts trying to do the work of a minion. I'm Stitch. And I did love your jokes, Matthew. I especially could not stop laughing at the one where you were talking about the Congo, and you were talking about why I like to drop on in, especially if I don't want to be late. Oops, wrong thing. That is Gru, a Gru Stitch, despicable Stitch. Ha ha ha. I nearly forgot his ears because I was in minion mode. Stitchy Stitch. Yep, the Stitch minion. I can definitely see, and I can also see Stitch minion taking over the Hollywood Tower Hotel, especially if he's a maintenance bellhop minion. The moment that Stitch gets into Goo's elevator systems, he's gonna make every single elevator drop like the Tower of Terror. And for our very last art request tonight, we're going to wrap up the night with joy and sadness from inside out. Sometimes when there comes great joy, there can be great sadness. So here it is, joy and sadness. Oh my gosh. Her boyfriend Owen from Star Wars. I forgot, but what was the Star Wars joke? What was the Star Wars joke? Again, I completely forgot. I'm very glad to hear. Oh my gosh, I'm tripping over my words so bad right now. I'm very glad I could enjoy your jokes. I'm very glad that I was able to enjoy your jokes. And I absolutely love your sense of humor, Matthew. Keep bringing the jokes. Keep bringing the good times. Love it all. Matthew says, the force is with your Aza. You're not a Jedi yet. Sorry, Jedis. You're not a Joaza yet. Alright, so here we go. With great joy comes great sadness. Whenever I draw Joy's heads, I think of a little tiny gray. I think of the little green aliens just because of how her face is shaped. Aw, I do enjoy your fun facts and jokes. They do keep the party alive. And what I've noticed about Joy's eyes is that you know Joy, and you know what's ironic about Joy's eyes is even though that she's Joy, her eyes are teardrop shaped. And yet Sadness's eyes are smiley shaped, are bean shaped, which do resemble a smile. Very, very blunt within the character design of having juxtaposing facial expressions. I'm actually considering dyeing my hair bright blue like Joy or bright pink like the Hollywood Tower Hotel. I'm likely going to dye my hair bright pink like the Hollywood Tower Hotel before Disneyland. Hello, David. Does Disneyland Pass? So good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? You came just in time to see join sadness. Matthew's asking, what is your favorite fun fact that you said in Mike and Jen's stream? My favorite fun fact came from the. Let me think. My favorite fun fact did involve something to do with, I believe, with Indiana Jones, and it was very interesting to hear that the border will not be making a return, not even a modified border. That was a fun fact that caught my attention, just because of its relevancy, and the fact that the border is not going to be making a comeback, which can be really disappointing for some Indiana Jones fans. And I can definitely see why Disney is not so keen on having the giant border rolling across the stage anymore. I do hope that Disney comes up with either a holographic border or slightly lighter border. That was actually one of my favorite parts of the show, when a bunch of cast members said, by the way, the border is 4,000 tons, and started rolling the border up the rampway. That always gave me the best laugh. Definitely I can draw Groot. Definitely I can draw Groot from Guardians of the Galaxies. I'm Groot. Here's the joint sadness, and our very last character will be Groot. No, I have an idea for Groot. We would turn that frown upside down in a Groot. I'm Groot. I'm Groot. I'm Groot. Groot's be branching out. Amy's asking, what kind of pen are you using? I love this Smoothest look. That's a really good question. I'm using, this video is not sponsored by Uniball. This video is not sponsored or endorsed by Uniball Elite or its affiliates. And it's from Japan. The Uniball Vision Elite from Japan. I actually found it when I was walking from the bus station after work. Sometimes you never know what treasures you would find sometimes you never know what treasures you'll find when you're after work, or if you're walking around the sidewalk on one random day. Oh, thank you so much, David. That means so much. So know what? We can't have a flower pot without a Groot inside. Another little Groot Easter egg is if you happen to open the Disneyland app, and look very closely on Mission Breakout, you would see a little baby Groot hiding out in the balconies. Matthew asks, can you draw the Haunted Mansion? Of course I can draw the Haunted Mansion. I can draw the Disneyland Haunted Mansion coming right up. Disneyland Haunted Mansion activate. Guys, zoom out for this one. This is kind of a big piece of artwork. Here you go, Matthew, for the Haunted Mansion. Grim Grinning Ghost come out to socialize. Road Not Disneyland got it. Unfortunately, the Disney World Haunted Mansion is covered upon 59 layers of Happy Haunts and Happy Haunts rooftops. Hopefully there'll be no more room for tops after the refurbishment. So let's see, where can we start with the Happy Haunts? I'm really wishing that Disney would create a full-scale model replica and a Christmas ornament that actually lights up and sings to you of the Haunted Mansion, of the Tower of Terror. Do you know that there's an ornament where if you get the main mansion and the small ornament that the ornaments will come to life on the tree and literally recreate the entirety of the attraction. That is something I would really love to. Even though it's not tower, I would just love to have a Christmas tree that comes to life with the entire Haunted Mansion attraction from start to finish. And most likely knowing me and my inability to put my tree away, that thingy would be around all year long. Hello, Monique, good to see you. You came just in time for some Grim Ghosts. And I do want to give a really huge shout out to an Instagrammer who goes by the name Foolish Models. The reason why I bring up the Foolish Model Instagram account is that he's the one who told me about the Haunted Mansion, the entirety of the Haunted Mansion Christmas tree set, and all the ornaments. What I find really neat about this pen is, even though it's a gel pen, even though this is a gel pen right here, it does not smear and does not make a mess on the paper as I would have expected from a gel pen. So I'll definitely get myself a set of these high quality pens just because I love how smoothly they write. Another thing about me is when I'm drawing some larger scale items like the Haunted Mansion, I tend to lose patience when it comes to the nitty-gritty details and brickwork. For instance, I'm just always tempted to sit around and just rush through all the brickwork. Even with Tower of Terror, I made some really sloppy tower artwork just because I just don't have the patience to draw every single little toilet. That's just me personally. Unless I'm working on a full scale replica of the Hyatt Tower Hotel that I might put on display for years to come. Another thing is, if you look at the Disneyland top wrap facade on the mansion, you actually get to see one of the caretakers walking around. It is very astonishing if you look at where the graveyard used to be, to see where Disney dug up all the forest area to make way for Vern's Land, which can be really appalling just because of the previous illusion of like very lush forest behind the mansion, which is no longer there. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? And that's right, the Haunted Mansion. How can you tell that it was the Haunted Mansion Chicago? Did you know that Disney did not actually use bricks? They use a bunch of plaster they use a lot of plaster and sometimes raw paper, as you can see in the former Muppets courtyard, where Disney is literally shredding the theater to make it into Metropolis. That is something I did notice is in some of the images of like the former Muppet theater. It is a bunch of like ripped off brick. It is a bunch of ripped off brick. That is not actual brick, but rather a bunch of ripped off facade and plaster stuff. Same with the stone walls outside of the Hyatt Tower Hotel, and all the structural elements on the Hyatt Tower Hotel itself. By the way, from what I can tell, based off some close-up photos of the Hyatt Tower Hotel's rooftop that I did randomly stumble across, you can actually see that it is a bunch of, I forgot where I was going with this, that it is actual shingles, probably PCB, fiber shingles, that you can buy at your local hardware store. I see you around, Matthew. And it's been such a long time since I saw you out. It's so good to see you, so good to see you, Robert. It has been eons, it's been decades, it's been years. Good to see you. And I'm wondering, how were you able to recognize that this was the Haunted Mansion? What was the giveaway? That this was not the Hyatt Tower Hotel, not Space Mountain, not Spaceship Earth, not Cinderella Castle. This is actually my very first time drawing the Haunted Mansion in its entirety. And this is the very first time I've actually drawn something, that I've actually drawn a haunted attraction that is not the Hyatt Tower Hotel. I was thinking about putting the sign, the Hyatt Tower Hotel, on the mansion, but I'm like, wait, them Grim and Ghosts wouldn't be so happy or thrilled of that. I'd most likely get haunted instead. So, here is the classic mansion with no Hyatt Tower Hotel signage or decor on it. Mama Medulla. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. Alright, come on, Tony, keep your patience, keep your patience. We got this. One brick at a time. We got this. Another thing about mansion that makes it very distinct is that it has a bunch of distinct metalwork and brasswork. So here's one side of the mansion. Now let's get the other side done. Gotta get this done. We're getting this done. Whoop! Let's get this thingy. Let's do this. And unfortunately, I am not a Nike commercial either. Even though I sound like a Nike commercial, I'm not really sponsored or endorsed in any shape and form by the Nike company whatsoever. That'd be amazing. That'd be an amazing sponsorship, but in my dreams, in my pipe dreams, in a galaxy far, far away. If Disney ever sold a Tower of Terror elevator ride vehicle that I could buy, I'd still buy that thing instantly. I'd be like, hey Disney, have my money, have all my money, go at it. Here's a Doom buggy that I would love. And also so Cargo, I'm curious if you don't mind me asking, how did you get your nails done? I would love to see what kind of nails you got done. For me, when it comes to my nails, the reason I do my nails is because of how cold and dry it is outside. If I don't paint my nails, or even give them a little layer of paint, my nails will go just chip in half upon first sight. Then there goes my ability to really hold a pencil, just because of how my nails are like all dangling. It's kind of gross. I won't elaborate any further. But that's why I paint my nails, especially in the dryness of winter, with heaters blasting all day and all night long. And I did get caught in the early for work tomorrow, so I do have an early morning 6 a.m. bus ride like usual. But I'm actually really happy that I do have the ability to work, which I'm always thankful for. Even though the commute isn't that ideal, I'm always really happy and beyond thankful that I can even work and that I even have a place to go to work, which is a huge blessing and privilege. Hello, Timothy. Good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? Hope your day is going well. When I commute, I am busing for 2 hours each way. So I'm basically spending 6 hours of my day on a bus or waiting for a bus. That's what I do during my work days. Wake up, bus, work, bus. Oh, thank you so much, Soul Cargo, for sending me the nail pic. I am definitely trying to get some more inspiration for how I would do my nails, especially when it comes to the Tower of Terror. Not sure, but whenever Richard from Disney and Magic Mayhem says Tower of Terror, I keep repeating that over and over again. I love saying Tower of Terror. That's a very, very magical saying. Hello, all Johns. Good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? You just came just in time for the Haunted Mansion's facade. This is how I go about drawing the Haunted Mansion. This is actually my very first time drawing Disney World facade. Yeah, but definitely going to take me some practice to fine tune and get the proportions just right. Mama Medulla. Robin says, Tony, I have a pack of these paints that go over your nails. It is pink and purple. Going to use it for Disney. Oh, that is so amazing. The pink and purple. And I do love that and I can't wait to see your Daisy Duck nails. I have not really participated in Disney bounding, but that's something I love to do. Is the bound as a bellhop wearing Mickey Mouse ears. Usually whenever I'm considering bounding as a cast member, not as a cast member, but somebody who draws, not somebody, but somebody who dressed similar to a cast member. I tend to recommend adding Mickey Mouse ears. This way nobody confuses me or anyone as an actual cast member, but rather just as somebody Disney bounding, which is actually allowed. You know what's really interesting is when I'm drawing like this little facade, when I'm drawing this facade platelet, like engraving, I meant, it actually reminds me of like the electrical church I forgot the Jesuit electrical church. I can't remember its exact details or locations, but that is something I do remember from art history too, from postmodern, from postmodern art history. Hello, CC. So good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? I hope your day is going well. We're just plugging away and drawing the Haunted Mansion's facade. And I'm curious, should I actually add Grim Grinning Ghost or skip the ghost completely, leave it as the facade, or actually include the ghosts? What should I redo with the facade? I would love to hear your opinions. No, ghost or no ghost? To be or not to be? Ghosts or no ghosts? And one Brazilian happy haunts later. Oh my gosh, Cece, when do you get to go? When do you get to go to Disney? I'm so hyped for you right now. I'm so hyped that you get to go to Disney. When do you get to go? And I really hope you get to ride the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Woo! I hope you get to ride the Tower of Terror all day long to your heart's contempt. If you enjoy that kind of ride and experience. Yes, please. Yes, CC. Yes, CC. If you can, please make a video of you dropping in to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. I'll be cheering you on all day long, all day, each and every day as you ride the Hollywood Tower Hotel. That's so awesome that you get to go for Star Wars Day. I'll be leaving Disneyland on Star Wars Day, unfortunately. So I will not be able to partake in Star Wars this year. And hello, Michelle. Good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? You came just in time for the Haunted Mansion facade. And right now we're asking everybody if we should add the ghost or no ghost, or if we should just leave the facade how it is. Sometimes as an artist, I find the less more and the more is less. And sometimes the more the merrier. So I make either more, less, mansion. Monique says to include the ghost. Absolutely include the ghosts. We got one vote for ghost. Majority is going to win. Put one in for ghost. Put two in for no ghost. Enjoy the facade as it is. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. Mama Medulla. Chim, 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 chimmery. East meets west. It's a small world after all. Batman. Who you gonna call Batman? Aw, may the fourth be with all of you tonight. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. So here's what the mansion looks like so far. I know the proportions are not 100% there, but this is our mansion so far. Alright, we got one vote for Ghost. I know we're going to have Grim Grin and Ghost showing up any minute. Thank you so much, APP. And I'm curious, what popcorn buckets do you hope to get, CC? Mom. Whatever. Her films and woozles are quite confused though. I just got that song randomly stuck in my head. I'm gonna try that sound. I've not ordered a mobile bucket or mobile ordered a popcorn bucket before. If I was a mobile order a popcorn bucket, I would hold off for a very new popcorn bucket, which I believe is debuting in a few months during the Cool Kids summer, where it's going to depict a really cute image of the Hollywood Tower Hotel and covered by a bunch of Pixar characters. I'm really happy to see that Disney is making a brand new popcorn bucket because Disney's been using the same pattern and print for the resort cup and the popcorn bucket for 4 years. It's really nice to see something very fresh and new, especially since it's going to involve a really cute and adorable depiction of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And absolutely, I can draw the Millennium Falcon coming up right after this. You shall ask and you shall receive the Millennium Falcon activate. I'm excited about the new mugs too. Nice and purple. And unfortunately, they don't have the Hollywood Tower Hotel on them, but the popcorn bucket makes up for that immediately. Even though it no longer will have a really beautiful print image of the Hollywood Tower Hotel, as the popcorn bucket will compensate with the tower's adorableness and being personified. I just can't get enough of anything or any much that personifies the Hollywood Tower Hotel with its cute little face and how adorable the tower is. Tower is honestly one of the most adorable things ever. Not sure what it is, but there's something so cute about it. Just drawing a little face on tower and seeing how cute and cuddly the tower is. So right after this, we shall get the Millennium Falcon. When it comes to the Millennium Falcon, I don't make a good pilot or an engineer. Whenever I make piloting or engineering that thing goes in for an instant crash landing and goes kaput, and so much for the Falcon. 100 times damage. Falcon falls apart. Adios. So whatever you do, don't trust me as a pilot or your engineer because I break stuff. Number 1, untrusted engineer. Number 1, untrusted pilot. Whatever you do, don't hire me to pilot that thing. Neither am I sell cargo. When I get that thing you piloting, that thing goes up in the air, goes at a 90-degree angle, then goes kaboom and plummets 13 stories into the twilight zone. And I'm honestly a little surprised that the Millennium Falcon has not ended up inside the Hollywood Tower Hotel yet. Because if I was actually piloting that thing, my luck would be that thing would be inside of the Falcon, inside of the Hollywood Tower Hotel, especially this is where the not is easier to visualize. This is where the Falcon would end up if I was piloting into the twilight zone, and instead of dropping down the surface elevator, you'd be dropping down the Falcon. What is the new Falcon version? I didn't know that Disney was like redoing the Falcon or actually updating the show. What I find really wild is that many moons ago by this point, there was a full-fledged Star Wars hotel which cost $500,000 a visit. Not $500,000 a visit. There was these alleged plans that Disney would be rotating the shows around and would also change up the character appearances depending on the time of years as a landlocked cruise. Unfortunately, in most people's eyes, and even a bunch of like Disney influencers were like, Disney, the price point's too much, so they went the Star Wars hotel down the gutter. If the Star Wars hotel were to actually work, I would bet all my money on Disney creating an immersive Tower of Terror themed hotel experience just like the Falcon, which I would definitely be staying at if the price was affordable. In terms of Disney, if the price was a 1-to-1 ratio to a Disney cruise during hurricane season. And as long as the entertainment value is that, I'll be lift below the bank. Let's go. Oops, sorry, my bad. I can honestly see a Tower of Terror. I can honestly see a Tower. I can honestly see a Tower of Terror haunted mansion hybrid in the near future, where the royal attractions and worlds collide. Beware of hitchhiking ghosts, because a hitchhiking ghost could follow you anywhere and could follow you home. I'm your ghost host. Please move dead to the dead center of the room and leaving no space between bodies. We are always looking for one mom. And the rumor has it that the Hotbox Ghost is the villain. The rumor has it that the Hotbox Ghost is the one who wants more ghosts and goblins to fill up the mansion. I've actually seen the Muppets Haunted Mansion movie at least once. It's really adorable. It can be a little scary at first, but once you get used to it, it's like really adorable. It's like a really adorable movie as the ghosts start coming out to socialize. Oh, that's so awesome that they had Ray and Kayla lightsaber fight. Robin says, I love piloting Falcon. I've never done the 200 positions. I've done Aussie positions and failed miserably at all of them. The only position I know how to do is just sitting in the gift shop waiting for everybody to ride and meeting everybody in the gift shop. That's the only position I ever succeeded at. It was just waiting in the gift shop for my party. Story of my life. And usually when it comes to the Tower of Town, my friend is usually the one waiting around in the gift shop while I'm making the town. But when it comes to the Falcon, I'm the one waiting in the gift shop. I'm like, don't even look anybody. I'm going to be in the gift shop. Don't even bother. And if you ever wanted to volunteer me as a pilot, you'd be in the most boring train wreck Falcon ride of your entire life on Earth. Oh, thank you so much, Soul Cargo. If you want to ride Falcon with me, let me know or forever hold your peace. And let's definitely ride together. I would ride Tower with you. I would not ride Big Thunder Mountain. That'd be another attraction where I'd be hiding in the gift shop. Or I could be like, well, you go ride Big Thunder Mountain. I'll be magically teleported to Hollywood Studios, and I'd be riding, and of course, I'd be riding Tower of Town. Well, we both do our own things. And heck yeah, so Cargo, if you were to ride a ride, what ride would you want to ride with me? Mama Medulla. I cannot do Bond Thermals. I can't do any coasters. I can't even do Slinky Dog, Sam I Am. I can't do any roller coasters or anything but Tower of Tower. Tower of Tower is my thrill limit besides Baby Tower of Tower, aka Rise of the Resistance. When it comes to thrills, the most thrilling thing I would do is the People Mover or It's a Small World on a good day. And Tower of Terror 2 on a bad day. And when it comes to my favorite ride lineups, I might have said this like 5 billion times, but I just keep repeating it over and over again, just because otherwise I forget. My favorite rides Tower of Terror, It's a Small World, Casey Jr. Circus Train at Disneyland, followed by Winnie the Pooh and the Teacups, then Mission Space Orange. So here you have it, the whole shebang. The Haunted Mansion and a bunch of grim ghosts, and absolutely so-called ghosts. I would ride Pirates of the Caribbean any day, anytime. Let's ride. Pirates is another ride that I'm okay riding just because it only has one drop that does catch me by surprise. Other than that, it's a good ride. But I won't be riding Tiana's. I won't be riding like Spawn Soma's, Slinky Dog, Tron, Space Mountain. No. Not for me. Aw, thank you so much. That means a lot. Aw. I'm just really pleased with how this came out. Aw, thank you so much. And next up, we cannot forget the Millennial Falcon in its rocks. Millennial Falcon time, here it is. What's today's day? We shall see. Definitely not Who Dat Nation. Definitely not a Who Dat Day, because Super Bowl has long gone by weeks. Time, it's just really wild how fast time does fly. So our last drawing will be the Millennial Falcon perched atop all of its rocks. And it will be at Disneyland just because it's Amusement Park Pirates' home park. Let's see, a little Millennial Falcon and its rocks. Something, let's see what we should draw. And you know what's really wild is that the Millennium Falcon is identical in Disney World and Disneyland. Very few differences. So let's see. Look, we got a nice, thank you everybody for your patience, a nice beautiful image of the Falcon. Come on, technology, don't fail me now. Technology, don't fail me now. What the heck is going on with the internet? Come on, Wi-Fi, what you doing? Don't go off funny on me. Don't go wonky on me. Made the internet and made it full speed with us. Allegedly. Oops, wrong button. Here we go, and we are back at it. Alrighty, it was like so good talking to you, Robin. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And we are back with the Falcon. Our very last drawing request of the night. I've actually never drawn the Falcon before. Of all things, I don't really draw mini Star Wars spacecrafts. I don't really draw very many Star Wars spacecrafts or anything of that nature. I mostly draw Tower of Terror anime cartoon characters, but sometimes I do enjoy a really good artistic challenge. Alright, welcome back, Matthew. Good to see you again, and here we go with the Star Wars Millennium Falcon, as requested by APP. Thank you everybody for your patience as we're getting the reference photo up and running. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. Oops, I almost forgot to draw the Falcon's extensions. This would not be a Falcon without the extensions. It'd be like a spacecraft total. And whenever I try piloting this thing actually goes up, does a few barrel rolls before crashing up until crashing upside down onto itself like a upside down totem. And then somebody has to come from stock command, pick me up, rescue the entire spacecraft, and evacuate the entire ship. And unfortunately, with that being said, nobody gets any cargo or any precious gems from their mission. All I get is a lot of local media and a lot of like galactic press and news. So that's why you should never hire me to pilot the Falcon, or even try to smuggle stuff. I'm not sure, but for the longest time, I thought that the name of Star Wars was another name for broccoli. When I was a kid, I thought that whenever someone said Star Wars, that they were talking about broccoli, and instead Darth Vader, I thought they were talking about. I'm not sure, but I kept thinking they were talking about a politician or somebody in a tuxedo suit. I actually envisioned the politician wearing a Darth Vader mask, and I kept asking, why does all stars have this politician's mask on it? That is how confused I was when I was a kid, because I didn't watch any TV or any media. So I was like always a little behind, always a little confused, and always a little discombobulated when it came to mainstream media and the news, especially Star Wars. I realize that might sound really silly right now, but that was my reality growing up. And when I was like a kid, I had a really difficult time with the television, just because I couldn't tolerate loud or sudden noises, especially during the commercial breaks, which is why I did not watch any television growing up. Hello, Christy. Good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? You came just in time for the Millennial Falcon and for rambling about Star Wars. And when I ramble, I just ramble about random stuff. Wait, I'm confused about the Falcon. Is this back of them? Is this back of the Falcon? Is this back of the Falcon another pod? Or actually the blasters, the rocket blasters? I can't really tell with this Falcon. Matthew's asking, did you see the Rise of the Resistance facts today? I did see the Rise of the Resistance facts, and I found them really neat. Just how much you know about Disney and trivia. I'm always impressed whenever Matthew's here, dropping the trivia, dropping the knowledge. And speaking of facts and trivia, do you know that within the Falcon there's actually a little miniature Falcon? It's like playing Roswaldo, but instead it's like playing Ros Falcon. Blasters are at the bottom of the ship. I didn't know that. Christy says San Francisco. I actually did visit San Francisco, which I really enjoyed. It was like an absolutely beautiful city. I did enjoy Chinatown, where I got myself some duck ping popcorn. It's really hard to explain, but it's something so delicious about eating popcorn covered with duck oil and grease. So it melts right into your mouth. Mama Medulla. I'm not sure, but lately I've just been chanting this song called Mama Medulla. Not sure where I got that chant from, except for the fact that I watched the movie Elio. And there was a scene when one of the aliens went up to Elio and said, Elio, you have a medulla. Oh, something about that line instantly cracked me up, so I cannot stop talking or singing about medullas right now. Sometimes when I'm watching a movie and if a very catchy line comes on, I find myself repeating it. I find myself repeating that line endlessly, even in my sleep. So right now we got Mama Medulla. Not sure how long that's going to last, but sometimes it lasts a few weeks, a few days, maybe a month or so. Then it's done. Mama Medulla. Not sure why, but the little spikes and the little embellishes, on the around Millennium Falcon reminds me of Space Mountain. It's really wild just how much Star Wars Land and Space Mountain do have in common when it comes to landscape and not storyline, but when it comes to landscape and attraction design. There's something very special about seeing two very unrelated attractions, yet both with very similar futuristic motifs, such as the spikes and the Jetsons inspired dome buildings. Alright, so Matthew says, and Amusement Park Pirates has a fun fact, but has a fun fact book that he gave it to me. He don't own it anymore, so he gave it to me. Oh, that's so special. It's so amazing that you got the fun fact book, and that is so sweet. So here you have it, the Millennium Falcon with a bunch of rocks and boulders. Who wants to go rock climbing? I scream, you scream. Who wants to go rock climbing Mount Everest? Also, beware of hitchhiking Yetis. So here you have it, the Millennium Falcon enjoying its day in the rock formations. Luke, I am your father. Well, one moment, everybody. Well, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for being here, enjoying the night with us. I know we can talk a lot. Sometimes things can get a little slow, but other than that, let's just keep chugging. Let's keep on drawing. And I just kind of thank all of you enough for being here right now. Thank you so much for turning this night into such a wonderful, fun-filled night, especially since this was my very first time drawing the Disney World facade in its entirety and drawing the Millennium Falcon. I know that over time, this Millennium Falcon is going to improve slowly but surely, and I want to thank all of you for your patience where we do art requests, and I want to thank all of you for your patience just for being here and having a good time. Oh, you're very welcome, Amusement Park Pirates. And awesome. And that's so amazing, Disney with Matthew, that your grandpa was an Imagineer for Disney World for decades. If you don't mind me asking, what did he do? And it's been such a magical time. I was so glad that we were able to spend the last of our weekend together. So Cargo says, Hair Time Mountain, LOL. I love Everest. Just wish the people didn't do that too. Just wish I had people who did Everest with me. I wish I could be an Everest fanatic, but unfortunately, I can only drop into the Twilight Zone, not go backwards or upside down, which is why I absolutely love the Hollywood Tower Hotel, because it only goes up and down, not sideways, walkaway, upside down, or backwards. That's why I love the Tower Hotel. It's its predictability of it up and down, even though you could get one of 4 drop profiles per ride cycle. So Cargo says, I'm absolutely loving that Haunted Mansion at 100%. Hang out in my house. Oh, that's so special. And Matthew said he did Haunted Mansion, Tiki, It's Smart, everything. That is so amazing, Matthew. I didn't know that your grandfather did all of that stuff. That is so amazing. My mind is blown. I'm always learning something new about you every day. And I would love to talk about, and I just love to hear what your grandfather. I would just love to see what kind in here and learn about what specific projects he did and how he worked on the projects. Well, anyways, I gotta get to sleep, wake up, and catch the bus first thing in the morning. So I will see you all around, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we'll see. I think about not doing live out next week, but let's do live out next week. Why not? And I was also thinking about reducing the number of streams from 4 times to twice a month. I'm like, no. Let's do 4 live out request shows every single week, because let's go big or go home. Once a week, I meant 4 times a month. So we'll see you next Sunday, everybody. Woo! And have a wonderful night, you all. See ya.